what you made me do.
What did you do?
This Halloween, experience the newest nightmares of 2025. From shocking debuts to brutal fresh releases, these horror movies will crawl under your skin and stay there. Number 10, Clown in a Cornfield. Quinn Maybrook thought moving to the quiet town of Kettle Springs would mean peace. But something wicked has taken root in the cornfields, something wearing the mask of a clown. When a string of brutal attacks targets local teenagers, the legend of Friendo, a grinning mascot turned murderous myth, begins to look horrifyingly real. As panic spreads and the corn whispers secrets, Quinn uncovers a grim conspiracy lurking beneath the town's wholesome facade. Every step she takes brings her closer to a community willing to sacrifice its youth to preserve tradition. Directed by Eli Craig, Clown in a Cornfield is a savage slasher soaked in Americana, where every stalk hides a scream and nostalgia turns deadly. Number 9, Him.
You don't know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, we playing some football!
Cam Cade is a high school football prodigy whose world implodes after a brutal ambush derails his future. Broken and lost, he's taken in by Isaiah, a revered athlete turned enigmatic recluse who offers to rebuild Cam into a legend, his way. But deep in the desert compound, what begins as mentorship mutates into mind games, isolation, and an eerie cult of self-perfection. As Cam trains under Isaiah's brutal regime, reality blurs and identity fractures, consumed by an ideology that demands complete surrender. With each grueling challenge, he edges closer to a transformation that feels less like rebirth and more like erasure. Directed by Justin Tipping, Him is a psychological horror wrapped in sports drama, where ambition turns parasitic and idols wear masks made of flesh. Number 8, Grafted.
Everyone is going to love me.
Wei is a shy Chinese scholarship student who arrives in New Zealand burdened by a genetic facial birthmark, one she shared with her late father, a researcher obsessed with skin regeneration. Haunted by his death, she resolves to complete his work, believing that mastering a radical skin grafting serum will erase her flaws and win acceptance. But as her experiments spiral into grotesque territory, betrayal, identity theft, and obsession twist every relationship around her. When blood and flesh become mask and mirror, the line between self and other collapses. Grafted is a visceral body horror steeped in the terror of transformation, where beauty demands a price and every reflection might lie. Number 7, Night of the Reaper.
What did you do?
Dina's quiet weekend back in her hometown turns sinister when she agrees to babysit for a family on the outskirts of town, only to learn the previous sitter was found murdered. As the night deepens, strange tapes appear, mysterious symbols surface, and a masked figure known only as the Reaper begins to stalk the shadows. Meanwhile, the local sheriff receives eerie deliveries tied to a long-buried case, awakening a nightmare he thought was over. What unfolds is a chilling collision between past sins and present terror, where every clue draws the town closer to a truth it can't outrun. The film resurrects the slasher formula with analog horror flair, transforming suburban stillness into a stage for creeping dread and ritualistic violence. Number 6, Vicious.
I'm gonna call the police now.
You can't do that. Don't tell anyone. Don't you dare.
Polly's fragile life unravels when a strange man appears at her door, delivering a box with a cryptic message. Place inside something you need, something you hate, and something you love. What seems like a twisted game quickly becomes a waking nightmare as reality fractures and shadows bleed into her home. Her memories turn against her. The walls whisper secrets, and unseen forces drag her deeper into a realm ruled by guilt, grief, and impossible choices. Each object she surrenders reshapes her fate, binding her to a force that thrives on emotional pain. Vicious is a slow-burning descent into supernatural dread, where horror comes not from what's outside, but from what you dare to offer. Number 5, Dirty Boy.
No, I'm really, really good at
Isaac has spent his entire life under the thumb of a secluded religious cult, where obedience is survival and purity is demanded. But when a brutal series of murders shocks the compound, all signs point to him, a boy branded by whispers and secrets he can't remember. As paranoia spreads, Isaac must navigate twisted rituals, unravel buried memories, and fight to uncover the truth before he's sacrificed for sins he may not have committed. The deeper he digs, the more he questions his own mind, his past, and the faith that raised him. Dirty Boy is a slow, burning psychological horror where guilt is weaponized and salvation might be the most terrifying fate of all. Number 4. Strange Harvest. Detectives Joe Kirby and Lexi Taylor believe they're tracking a serial killer known as Mr. Shiny, whose reign of terror ended decades ago until new bodies begin surfacing with the same gruesome signature. What starts as a standard investigation quickly unravels into something far more sinister, blending crime scene footage, body cams, and eerie interview reels into a mosaic of mounting dread. Each lead blurs the line between human evil and something ancient, watching and waiting. As symbols emerge and witnesses vanish, the case becomes a ritual of its own, summoning forces that defy logic and devour reason. Strange Harvest is a mockumentary nightmare that peels back the skin of reality, revealing a hidden order beneath the chaos, and a killer that may not be human at all. Number 3. The Long Walk.
And the blood will flow suddenly.
Every year, 50 teenage boys are chosen for the walk, a televised endurance march where falling behind means death. Ray Garrity is one of them, thrust into a cruel spectacle where friendships are fleeting, fatigue is a killer, and the road never ends. As the miles stretch on, bodies drop, and the rules stay brutally simple: keep walking or die. With each passing hour, paranoia sets in, minds begin to splinter, and Ray must decide how much of himself he's willing to lose just to stay alive. Directed by Francis Lawrence, The Long Walk is a harrowing descent into psychological horror where survival isn't just physical. It's the slow erosion of hope, humanity, and everything you thought you were. Number 2. VHS Halloween.
It's unhuman! It's unhuman!
A box of cursed videotapes surfaces on Halloween night, and each one contains a fragment of terror. Each frame a doorway into dread. What begins as spliced nostalgia and found footage becomes a contagion. Those who watch are drawn into nightmarish segments where children vanish, spirits stalk trick-or-treaters, and the boundary between viewer and victim collapses. As the anthology's threads intertwine, a sinister force uses the tapes as conduits to breach the real world. Every skip, every static burst ratchets tension tighter, reminding us that some images shouldn't be watched. VHS Halloween resurrects the anthology format with haunted precision and viscerally warped vision. Number 1. Good Boy. After moving into his late grandfather's secluded farmhouse, Todd hopes to find healing, but his loyal dog, Indy, senses something is terribly wrong. Shadows linger too long in doorways. Doors creak open without cause, and a cold presence stalks the halls after sunset. Todd, weakened by illness, can't see the threat closing in, but Indy can. Each night becomes a battle as the loyal retriever faces off against a malevolent force only he can sense, fighting to protect the man he loves. As the haunting deepens, Indy's instincts lead him to a buried truth hidden beneath the floorboards. Good Boy is a chilling supernatural tale told from the eyes of a dog, where devotion meets dread, and every growl is a warning too few will understand. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Bambi the Reckoning. A grieving deer transforms into a savage predator after witnessing the violent death of its mother. Deep in the forest, a woman and her son seek shelter after a car crash, unaware that they've trespassed into Bambi's blood-soaked territory. What follows is a brutal survival story where nature turns against humanity with primal fury. Shelby Oaks.
Where is my sister?
Mia sets out to uncover the truth behind her sister's disappearance, tied to a paranormal investigative group known as the Paranormal Paranoids. As she digs through old footage and records, a sinister force begins to follow her every move. The deeper she searches, the more reality warps, leading her into a spiral of conspiracy, horror, and psychological torment. The home.
Hey man, I'm not gonna hurt you.
Ex-con Max is sentenced to work at a mysterious retirement facility tucked away from the public eye. As he explores the building, strange behavior among residents and whispers of a sealed-off fourth floor begin to haunt him. What starts as community service turns into a descent through trauma, horror, and shocking family secrets. I Know What You Did Last Summer. A group of teenagers are bound by a deadly secret after a tragic accident one summer night. A year later, someone begins stalking them. Someone who knows what they did. As their guilt fractures friendships and paranoia rises, a figure with a hook emerges from the shadows with merciless intent.